Welcome to an analysis of Vienna's transportation system. To understand how transport works in this city, we must first understand its geography. Vienna lies at the eastern edge of the Alps in the Vienna Basin, making it a natural crossroads connecting Western Europe with the east via the Danube Valley. This strategic position defines the city as a crucial European rail and logistics hub. The city itself covers an area of approximately 414 square kilometers, and its population has recently exceeded 2 million inhabitants. Natural conditions here create two distinct worlds. In the west, we find hilly districts bordering the Vienna Woods, which historically required specific transport solutions, such as cogwheel railways or winding bus routes. In contrast, the central and eastern parts of the city, known as Transdanubia, are predominantly flat, creating favorable conditions for the development of cycling and the tram network. A significant barrier is formed by the Danube River and the Danube Canal. Crossing them required the construction of massive bridge infrastructure for both the metro and road transport. Vienna's historical development is deeply inscribed in its current structure. Originally a monocentric city centered around St. Stephen's Cathedral in the first district, Vienna has transformed into a polycentric city. Although the historic core remains the administrative and tourist heart, new subcenters have emerged, such as Donau City with its modern skyscrapers or the area surrounding the new main station. The city's street network is organized in a radial concentric pattern. A key element is the circular Ringstraße Boulevard, which encircles the historic center, and the outer ring known as Gürtel or Belt, which serves as a high-capacity road artery and a metro route. In terms of settlement, we see clear differences. The highest density of population and buildings is found in the inner districts between the Ringstraße and the Gürtel, for example in the Margareten or Josefstadt districts. Conversely, the lowest density is typical for the peripheral parts, such as Hietzing in the west near the woods or Donaustadt in the east, where agricultural areas can still be found.
Transport flows are naturally determined by where people travel for work and other purposes. Major economic activities, primarily services, finance and law, are still concentrated in the first district and the modern Donau city cluster across the river. The area around the main station has also become a significant center. Industry and logistics, on the other hand, have moved to the outskirts. We find them in the southern and eastern districts, close to the port and the airport, where they connect to the highway network and freight rail. A specific cluster in the Vienna Biocenter in the third district, which is a hub for biotechnology and research.
Let's now look at the evolution of Vienna's transportation system. The origins of public transport date back to 1865, when the first horse-drawn tram began operation. Electrification arrived in 1897. Just a year later, the famous city railway, the Stadtbahn, designed by Otto Wagner, opened, laying the foundations for today's metro. A turning point for the modern era was the opening of the first metro line, the U1, in 1978. An interesting fact is that traffic in Vienna drove on the left until 1938, when the driving direction was changed following the Anschluss of Austria. Today the system relies on several main terminals. For passenger transport there is Vienna main station, a hub of international importance, and Schwechat Airport, located southeast of the city. For freight transport, the port of Freudenau on the Danube and terminals Wien-Sad, where rail meets road and vitally important. What makes Vienna globally unique is the division of transport work. Now is the model split. The city boasts an exceptionally low dependency on auto. Only 25 to 26% of journeys are made by car. Conversely, public transport accounts for approximately 34% of all trips. However, what is staggering is the share of walking, which reaches up to 30%, an exceptional figure for a city of this size. Cycling accounts for 7 to 11% and continues to grow. In total, nearly 3/4 of Vienna citizens use eco-friendly modes of transport to move around the city. This corresponds with a low motorization rate. There are only 374 cars per 1,000 inhabitants, which is significantly fewer than in other European capitals.
The backbone of the entire system is the metro, called the U-Bahn. It's a 5-line transport system with nearly 460 million passengers annually. It is complemented by the tram network, which is the 6th largest in the world. Trams are crucial for tangential connections between districts that the metro doesn't reach. In hilly western districts and on the periphery, service is provided by a dense network of buses. For commuters from the Lower Austria region, the suburban railway, the S-Bahn, is indispensable. The entire system is integrated, which allows passengers to travel on a single ticket in the whole region.
Vienna does not leave its future to chance. The city's development is guided by a sophisticated smart city strategy aiming to achieve carbon neutrality by 2040. The main goal in transport is to increase the share of sustainable journeys to 85% by 2030. The city is investing massively in transport. The largest current project is the construction of the fully automated U5 metro line and the extension of the U2 line, known as the U2x-U5 project. At the same time, the city promotes a human-scale design through the 15-minute city concept and the creation of so-called Superkretzel, calmed residential zones where pedestrians and greenery take precedence over parking. Emphasis is also placed on MaaS, Mobility as a Service, where the VienMobil app integrates public transit, shared bikes and cars into a single platform.
In conclusion, Vienna's transportation system is a prime example of how to combine the historic structure of a city with modern requirements for sustainability. Thanks to long-term planning, a preference for public transport, and the courage to limit individual automobilism, Vienna succeeds in maintaining a high quality of life. The city proves that effective mobility does not mean more cars, but more choices.